Hello and welcome back to the Liminal Branch Library, the archive in the seams. I'm your Archivist and Librarian, Mordio Crow, and I've been out of commission for several weeks now. But what better way to come back than with Tabletop RPGs, where I'm once again joined by our three players. We have channel staple Nova, who's been holding down the fort while I've been incapacitated.
I don't know. I mean, I'm new.
You really cut out there.
Oh,
He just
sorry.
really wants to get going.
You're a rabbit.
That's right. I've got my rabbit ears.
Wow. So themed.
Yep. On theme. Next to Nova, we've got Hambone playing Milo.
Hello, it's Hambone, who will be playing the role of Milo, in theory.
And
It's been so long, I don't know if I can find them again.
yeah,
We'll find
it has
him
been a
together.
bit.
I believe.
And honestly,
I believe.
one of the toughest things in a tabletop RPG is finding like the pace again once there's a long break. But we're gonna do our best to try.
It's gonna work.
And down at the far end over there, we've got Amasha playing as Ember.
Hello and welcome.
Yes, welcome. And so, quick disclaimer before we go into our recap and get started and all that. The things that will be covered in this session were set in motion many months ago. Unfortunate timing with the rampant fires currently raging in certain parts of the world. But there are probably going to be fire-based themes for this session. And we're just, it's unfortunately the case. It's not intended to be topical. You can go see the archive to verify that claim. But we do, hope that if you're in that area, or if you know those affected, that everything works out as well as it can. Our best wishes to those affected. But here in the woodlands, far away from there may also be some fire. So if that's something that's affecting you, you may want to not listen to this stream at this hour. All right. Well then, let us go into our recap, where last time our vagabonds arrived at Dion's Den, a clearing built in and around a large cavern inside a small mountain. Over the past couple of decades, Marquise occupation has transformed much of the shady town into a lumber nursery, focused on growing the rare dusk redwoods that serve as critical components of the Marquisiate clockwork contraptions. While the town is ostensibly governed by Mayor Blith Nightsong, a former Eyrie noble who was swift to surrender when the Marquis breached the town's defenses many years ago, and was rewarded with his figurehead position, it is in truth occupied by the Marquis de Cat's military, an occupation that was only as gracious as the Marquis was victorious. With the Marquis now on the back foot, crackdowns on local freedoms have caused tensions to flare, and while Dion's Den has always been a bit of a shady place, with smuggling and thievery being more or less common but never unheard of, arson has been added to the list. A revolutionary group called the Ashen Claws is aiming to highlight the incompetence of Mayor Blith Nightsong and the occupying Marquis Lieutenant Charles Minuet in an attempt to provoke a local uprising. The Vagabonds, initially on the case of finding out who was behind the arson, have decided to aid these young but well-supplied revolutionaries. The plan? A controlled burn of the dusk redwood, not enough to destroy the nursery, but to highlight the fact that the Marquis can't defend the town. And if they can't do that, then why do they control the town's most profitable industry? Once the citizens all agree the answer is they shouldn't, then revolution is inevitable. Or so believes the revolutionaries of the Ashen Claw. So the party, after attending one of these secret meetings, returns to the home of Anadir, one of Milo's fans, to stay the night.
So we return to the house.
Yep, you return to the house. I do believe Ember really wanted a good night's sleep.
That's right.
Which we're now finally getting around
days.
to. It's been a long time.
So long.
So, if you guys have anything in particular you want to do or prepare, or just like any strategizing you want to do without the revolutionaries, now's your time to do it. Otherwise, we can fast forward to the next meeting a few days later.
Who was the leader of the Revolution Force?
Yes, that's something I should have on hand.
Yeah, can we get a couple of names going on again? Because I do forget.
I did say a bunch of them during the recap, but I didn't say this one, which was Otis DeLand. Which
Otis.
let me put that in the game chat, which the stream can also see technically if you zoom in. Maybe, I don't know, if you're full screen, maybe it's legible. But that is a gray and black fox with really big ears, narrow build but muscular.
Ooh.
And is the one currently leading the Ashen Claws.
Okay. Is Onadir, and I remember that name right away now, since when you first introduced it, I was thinking on a deer, like on a game animal. Are they up, or are they waiting for us or anything?
At this hour, it's probably like 1:30 in the morning, so probably what you find is Onadir and maybe one of the siblings are like sitting up in the kitchen area, but asleep at the table. Right? Like they were waiting up, but they've since fallen asleep. So unless you all make noise, I don't think you're likely to... Like, unless you make a lot of noise, I don't think you're likely to
knock
wake
over
them.
a bunch of pots and pans trying to be quiet.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh god!
No!
Miffy, no!
Sorry.
If they're asleep, we'll let them sleep because it's gonna be a couple days. So
Yeah, you got a couple days.
yeah, I mean, if there's anything in the interim, we can talk to them then.
Yeah,
So
I guess...
yeah, we'll just we take the nearest like blanket or quilt and put over their shoulders.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So I think with spending a night here in a comfortable home where you've been welcomed, you're also fed a meal, and would be fed again in the morning. Everyone can clear one exhaustion from their track if they have one. I think at least one of you does.
Let me see. I might.
I think you were up all night fighting, so
Alright, my exhaustion is fine. I have one depletion.
Yes, so that's more of a resupply sort of thing. Which,
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
theoretically, if you help yourself to some odds and ends and, you know, preserve some food from around the house, you could do that as well. But doing that while the owners are sleeping might seem like a little bit of an overreach, but maybe that doesn't bother Ember. Ember seems like the type who might not be bothered by such things.
tell me they just grab whatever's not nailed down. Come on.
Also considering raiding her home.
That's also true. Just go home and just take a bunch of stuff.
Hey mom, I need this.
Well, you gave me that necklace, so go ahead.
Well,
Probably would
she
depend.
wouldn't say, actually. She would just go in and take it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something you want to do over the next couple days as well, just go home, pick up some old things, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess this leads to a question, as we have a bit of a montage over the next few days of what would you imagine Ember's house being like? Is it one of the sorts that's cramped into the corner somewhere? Does Ember still have a room, or is it the sort of thing where once Ember was sent out into the world, the childhood room is repurposed?
The sewing room.
Ooh. Heads up, my electricity just blinked, so I should be good, but we'll see.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I I thought you were
Oh,
saying
no.
that as Ember.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
you're good. You're good.
No, if something happens, well, it wouldn't be the first time a library stream
Yeah.
had to be canceled due to power vanishing. So,
Oh
Um,
goodness. Okay. For Ember's home, since she is the youngest, I believe, I don't think that her room has completely been taken over, but it has definitely been filled with stuff.
it's now storage. Storage for
Yeah.
supplies, which you will now help yourself to.
I mean, it was my room. I've only been gone for what, a year or two?
Yeah, not that long, right? Surely. It's you still have some ownership over both the room and the things in it.
Of course.
Mhm. I think you've already met up with your mother and spoke with her for a bit. Are you trying to meet up a little bit more with your family, or just kind of going in, taking what you need and moving on?
Intention is just going in and moving on, but I think part of the thing was we were also going to catch her up on what we found, right?
Oh yes, that's true. She was curious about it.
So I don't think that Ember would go out of her way about it, but like if she sees her, she'll be like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
we met with the leader."
Yeah, I think that sounds fair. If you're going at like a reasonable hour, read as not 3 a.m., right?
Yeah, no,
There's
Ember
a-
wants to.
He wants to sleep. Yeah, so like if you're going at some point over the next couple of days, I think there's a reasonable chance you'd run into your parents, at least your mother at some point.
Yeah.
And I think you fill her in on what you've learned, and she seems intrigued but also skeptical, right? Now a little chaos is good for business, right? But a lot of chaos and everyone closes their doors and their wallets. Keeps things close. I think there's a fine balance to be tread in a situation like this.
Yeah, and that's why it's a specific time period. Like, it's not going to be forever.
Well, I feel much better about it knowing that you're involved, rather than some mystery children.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you.
Well, good luck. Don't burn the town down.
What a cool mom.
She's the cool mom that lets you drink while you are under 21.
Cool mom who let you do a little arson.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Also the cool mom who throws you out once you've reached age and is like, okay, go have adventures, have fun.
Well, she prepared you well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, to sum up, like, she's not thrilled about the whole arsons going on thing, but I think, pitching it as the party being involved a little bit does somewhat assuage her concerns, but yeah, that's where she's at, right? She's not going to tell you what to do.
Keep an eye out.
Yep. And now that she knows, well, she can also plan.
Yeah, she's good at that. Well, not really. She's good at just going, but plans are sometimes involved.
Yeah, we'll say that by raiding your childhood home, you can restore that point of depletion that you have marked. I think that's very reasonable.
Yes. Heck yeah.
All right, then.
I'm taking all the snacks.
What? No, that's not what we agreed on. Take all our Cheez-Its and fruit gummies.
Fruit gummies.
Shark bites.
Then over those couple of days as you're raiding your childhood home, as everyone's resting up, you do see several examples of arguments in the street between Marquisiate soldiers and the citizens of Dion's Den. The Marquis has turned up its searches of people in their search for the arsonists, and some of these do boil over into the occasional fisticuffs, though most such conflicts are quickly ended one way or the other, typically with someone being thrown to the ground and only in the most egregious cases dragged off for a night in a cell. But these little sparks of tension are frequent enough that it's impossible to, go a day without seeing one of them.
Yeah.
But here we are, I suppose, a few nights later, in that same abandoned tavern out in the depths of Dion's Den, where this time it's a bit of a smaller cast of people. Otis is there, along with about a half dozen others of the Ashen Claw, and the three of you. Otis has a very crudely drawn map of the forest, the tree nursery up above on the mountaintop, and also a crate of supplies. So let me see. I should be able to make this visible to all of you. All right. On the inventory tab, the items tab that looks like a briefcase on the right, you should see an Ashen Claw stash folder, and there should be 6 things there. You can each take one thing from the stash, whatever thing you'd like.
All right, let's see.
Drinks are part of it.
Celebratory, if you think that they would be useful.
But we can't have a drink and have a knife.
Look, these are expensive drinks. You can have a regular drink and a knife, but you can't have expensive drinks and an expensive knife.
The vagabond a second time.
Ooh. Mercy, wood baton.
Get this weak shit out of here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this knife can also start a fire. I'm assuming it has a tag, a fire starter, so...
Yeah, as their names might suggest and their tags, the fire starter bow and the kindling blade, both are for fire.
What's wicked?
I am sorely tempted by either the blade or the drink.
Yeah,
Ember is very drawn by the drinks.
And I mean, not to sway people one way or the other, you can choose duplicates if you want. There's more than just these 6 things in here. Presumably the other half dozen people here are also, or woodland critters here are also taking a thing. Let me see. Oh yeah, you asked what Wicked was, right?
Yeah, I want to know what Wicked does.
All right, I'll grab
No
that.
body molds, the Wicked!
No, the DMCA. All right, Wicked. Anyone who sees this weapon will deem its wielder a threat, at least to be watched carefully. When you inflict any harm with this weapon, mark notoriety with an observing faction for each harm inflicted.
Oh yeah, that's my kind of knife.
Yeah, and so again, to reiterate, for every damage you inflict with this, if another faction sees it, you mark notoriety with that faction. So it is a rapid fire way to get a faction to hate you.
But you said reputation could be good or bad, right?
No, it's specifically notoriety, the bad kind.
Which is the bad.
Notoriety.
Notorious
see.
for being a philanthropist.
Well, let me see. I already have a cutlass. Oh, a cloak. Let me see what this cloak...
So as you're looking through that, some ideas are being tossed around by the Ashen Claw, things that they're not entirely set on yet. But as you've certainly seen, there's a couple Eyrie officers' swords, counterfeit ones, but reasonable enough that, at a glance, they're going to look, or actually not even at a glance, they're quality forgeries, so they'll deceive most people into thinking that these are actual, legitimately Eyrie weaponry. So one idea is that's being tossed around by the Ashen Claws to false flag it, right? Make it look like the Eyrie did it. Right. And it's like, look, the Marquis can't protect us from the Eyrie. They lost one town, and now the Eyrie's in here hitting the forest, right? Like, they're trying to figure out the best way to make the Marquis look bad, and they're just kind of throwing around ideas, but they have these as an option. They're not sure if they want to go that far, right? Because that might put everyone on a, we're about to be invaded stance, right? But it's an option they're discussing. Right?
Okay. The celebratory drinks might actually really be good for you, Ember.
Well, I have already taken.
Oh, you've already taken it. That's good. That's fair. That's good for you too.
You can both take celebratory drinks.
You can both take it.
There's no rules against.
I pull out a funnel. It's like, okay, I'll pour this drink into this bottle. I'm gonna give you half of that. And I'll give you half of this bottle.
Okay, so maybe because I already have a knife, even though it sounds really cool, the kindling blade, maybe I'll take the cloak just so I have extra sneak.
I was thinking that too, but I think drinks would work better for me.
I've also got an Eyrie guard baton still from the mines.
Yours is authentic.
Yeah!
Oh, that's right. So that might be good also to plant stuff. They don't have forensic science in this woodland area, do they?
If they did, they would have caught the Ashen Claw by now.
Well, it's all burned, so maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, they probably have some science-y stuff on the Marquis sides, but clearly not enough. So of all the towns where a criminal can get away with stuff, Dion's Den is probably one of the better ones to escape.
It's true.
All right, I picked mine.
You got the cloak?
Yeah.
All right, and everyone was able to drag their stuff over to the sheet? All right.
Wait, sorry, one more question. So I can have armor and my cloak? That's not a
the cloak can go over the armor.
Okay, I don't really know what the equipment rules are for this game, so just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're good. Make sure you watch the load that you guys have equipped. I don't think we're particularly in danger of anything like that. All right. So with your supplies selected, Otis probably notices two party members going for the drinks intended to be for afterwards. Looks, thinks about saying something, shakes his head. It's like, you know what? Never mind. That's not important right now. I'm going to trust.
Also could be used for bribery.
Could be used for bribery. Yeah, there's all sorts of uses, right? So.
What does it mean when the bottle has a skull on it?
Are you sure that's not llama extract?
Sorry? What? Llama?
Yeah. In the Emperor's New Groove, they're trying to kill Cusco, but it was folded over.
The poison for Cusco.
That's right. Cusco's poison.
So Otis will draw your attention to the rough map. So ever since the Eyrie took Ironroot, the lumber farm's been carefully guarded. There are 3 main paths up to it, and all of them are patrolled and with checkpoints. There are lookout platforms in the forest surrounding it, too. So we either need to find a way to sneak up through the checkpoints while keeping our supplies concealed, or through the forest without being noticed by the lookouts up in the trees. Once we're in there, there's still soldiers to contend with. There's a Marquise encampment in the farm now. Some of the tents surrounding some of the larger buildings. They might be a good target to hit. they might be a good target if we can, without, getting caught ourselves. Remember, the key thing here is we can't give them anyone to blame this on. That means no one can get caught. Right? No. So don't leave anyone behind, and don't leave any witnesses.
Don't worry, boss. I'm good at no witnesses.
They take the cloak and disappear into a nearby shrub.
Miffy
I
says
mob
that.
into the
Otis
shrub.
looks at Miffy and is just like, I'm glad you showed up. I think we need someone with your set of skills.
Glad you're on our side.
I got special skills.
We also need to think about the time of day. If we go during the day, there's going to be a lot of workers there, which will make it harder to strike without having collateral damage. But if we go in the middle of the night, we're not going to really be making much of a scene. So I think the best time is probably going to be either dawn or dusk. Somewhere where we can still get that contrast and still have people seeing it. But that'll still come with its own risks, both when it comes to presence of people and visibility.
But also, if it's during those times, that's when people are switching around and stuff, so it'll be harder to, pin something.
That's true. If we can blend in with the crowds in or out, that'll be in our favor.
Now these guards, are they in actual bespoke towers, or are they just sort of hanging around in the trees?
On the path, they're just hanging out at specific points. They might have their own little, they have their own chairs and things, but they're just kind of sitting out there. In the trees, they do have raised platforms. Nothing too concealed or high up there, but high enough to give them a good vantage point at least.
Alrighty.
And of course,
I'm thinking dawn. It'll be right as they wake up, and they can think about have the full day to think about what to do, why this happened, and that's when you can create a little more noise in the following days.
That's true. If we do it first thing in the morning, then that'll be all anyone talks about all day, which should make it easy for word to spread.
Like fire. Wink.
Otis nods. And then, of course, of the three main things to be decided, sounds like we have our timing. We're still thinking a little bit about the approach. Is the main target. Already mentioned, there's the military encampment, tents, a few larger buildings, which is probably going to be the toughest one to burn without getting caught, right? But amongst the tree, we want to show that they can't protect the trees, so we likely will need to burn at least some of the dusk redwoods. But, well, Otis looks like a little bit conflicted over this. Like, but once we kick them out, we want to be able to sell the trees, right? So we don't want to destroy the town's money if we can.
How close is the encampment to the trees? Like, are they in the trees, or are they at the edge, or are they like way over there?
So they're set up near some of the old growth, some of the trees planted like a decade ago or so, and near where the processing happens. So off on towards one side of the nursery. In fact, you know what? I can just doodle a bit on this thing, can I? Give us some visuals. Let me.
As you're doing that, I discreetly put back the bottle I took and grabbed the fire starter bow.
Okay.
Change your mind.
Yeah, I changed my mind. Like, we don't need 2 bottles of.
And you do
high-class
have
alcohol.
bow and arrow skills.
I do, and a tambourine.
Yeah.
I idea that well, of course you're gonna I see you feel bad about burning these trees. After all, you still need them to profit on. It's gonna be real hard because once we do these fires, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But if someone were, say, to know that was going to happen by chance, happened to be there, a hero, a town hero, perhaps you, to help make sure some of the damage isn't too bad, then you can use that opportunity to not only play the hero, but also get people on your side for when you eventually take over.
I love
Sorry,
Miffy
my cat.
continuously giving this revolutionary more autocratic ambitions, right? Like,
I mean, if it works.
yeah, if it works, I suppose. All right.
You know, there's a particular young fox that might be real appreciative if someone were to save her trees. I think you might want to stick by her in particular. She's got a whole family. Imagine a whole family behind you and your altruistic deeds.
Otis considers this for a moment. It might work, but we do also risk someone noticing that none of us actually work at the nursery. But maybe in the panic and the chaos.
I think you should, really get to know this family at first, huh? Then it wouldn't be so weird. You'd be helping her out. You were helping her out the whole time.
You have a particular candidate in mind?
Oh yeah, real bleeding heart. Her name's Anadir.
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. She's not some sort of forestry equestrian, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
She's a fox. Literally. Is that
Wow.
a thing? Is that like a thing in this universe we can say? She's a real fox, like, right?
She's not a faux fox.
Wow.
Anyway,
Alright,
you catch my drift?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but it sounds like it might take even more time.
Well, you know what?
It might be worth it.
Well, you know what really gets the working class together, real close together, real companionship and brotherhood. And Milo beats his tambourine a few times. Just a little working song to get past you through the day. I think we can kind of get in there,
Yeah.
rallied up with a little bit of a working tune, and as we're going in, we can kind of blend into the shadows and do our business.
Okay. I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's less of a, oh, where did they come from? And more of a, yeah, we're helping out the workers. Oh no!
Okay. Otis is like, alright, I think this makes sense. We'll need some time both to make sure that I don't arouse any suspicion with this family that you're mentioning. So I'll need at least a few days to get to know them and for them to become used to me. And then we still will need someone to actually set the flames. Sounds like we've got a plan for getting myself, and then they'll point at Milo, and you and I do your working song sort of approach, and hopefully I can get in with that family. But would look probably towards Miffy, right? Mainly because of Miffy's overall demeanor thus far in Code of Conduct. Like, but does that mean you're going to be the one setting the flames? There's a hesitance, like Otis was, planning on doing that himself right? But now he's forced to rely on someone else to actually set the spark, as it were.
This whole time, Miffy has been flicking on and off a lighter that they've been holding under their paw. I just want to make sure I can handle the heat before I go in there.
Well, of course. And think of it this way. Suspicious at all. I just got here, and the fires have been going on for how long?
That's a good point. Not only did you just get here, but you came... well, actually, no. I don't know if Otis would know this. Would know that you came from the Iron
Otis
Root
would
direction.
notice?
I don't know if Otis would notice. Would know this or notice, to be honest. Yep. That's true, as someone who just arrived, there would be less suspicion on you. Okay. I think this could work. Ember, where are you joining in to this plan?
I think that if any of the guards are upset about this impromptu concert, which is supposed to be helpful, I will ask them to join in the support with some drinks.
Oh, I see. Alright. So Ember and Milo make their way in together as the, both to raise the spirits, right? To raise the spirits, potentially using spirits if the need arises, right?
If needed, yeah.
Alright.
I need to put away Skittle if there's like a break coming on or like a...
Sure. How about let me finish this one summary and then we can
yeah, sure thing.
go from there. Or like this one last detail, I think. So we're going in at dawn. Ember and Milo going in there to raise spirits. Otis will spend a week or so trying to get in with Anadir, potentially even getting hired himself. Go in conventionally.
Is Miffy trying to also play matchmaker with Otis and Anadir?
If something happens, it happens. Milo, play your most romantic music.
Romantic music while there's fire happening.
No, before then.
And then, so the missing piece of information I have here is, Miffy, what's your approach? And are you and the rest of the Ashen Claws sneaking up through the forest, trying to avoid the sentries? Are you trying to sneak in a different way? What's your plan here?
I mean, is there a different way than just trying to sneak up to it? Like,
The other obvious route would be to use the paths and try to conceal your contraband. Either blend in with the workers or, as Ember and Milo are currently doing, have a plan to get in, right? Like a reason to be up there. Like, I just wanted to go for a morning walk is probably not a good enough reason right now, right? But
Miffy got the Deep Shadow Cloak, so they could have a leg up on sneaking in.
Yeah, I could just do my best to sneak. I don't really have a plan other than that. Like, just do my best to be unnoticeable. Sneak.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I know. Someone hollow out a log and carry me into the woods.
Remember, they farmed the trees in the place you're going.
But how do they transport the trees? With something like a cart?
Yeah, they would probably bring them down in a cart.
Hold on an axe and put me in the axe.
Put me in the tarp or something.
Oh, like in a cart that's already been emptied that's coming back up?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that could work. Alright. Alright. Now that we have a potential plan, I think that covers all the player characters and the major NPC. Now we can take our break. It will be an early break, but since we're moving some stuff, I guess we'll take a quick 3-5 minutes if anyone needs to use the restroom. And we'll be back shortly. we're back.
Hey Milo, wouldn't it be really fucked up if they fell in love and he still went with the plan and he'd have to hold this secret that he was using her this whole time for years and years and take it to his grave?
Milo is brushing their mandibles, and it's like, yeah, that'd be pretty messed up. And then he turns around and starts writing the plot of that for a song later.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
That's immediately what you come back with. Were you thinking about that when you're putting away Skittle?
No response.
Sorry, I was crunching. I didn't hear that last part.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Were you thinking about that when you were putting away Skittle, or?
Oh. Oh, yeah, I had that thought, yes.
Oh. What if this happens during it?
Ooh, pretty background.
Yeah, we're moving up towards the mountaintop. Not the next day. This is about a solid week later, I think, is like the minimum amount of time it will take to, to get Otis and Anadir to have at least some base level of friendship, get Otis a job. So we have that again. Once again, another montage of preparations being done. The party staying at Anadir's house. Perhaps a day or two into your stay is when you learn that Otis has made contact, right? And then it takes a couple more days before Otis goes up to the tree nursery for the first time as a quote-unquote employee. Well, I mean, I guess he's getting paid, so it's a real employee regardless of his
Real
intention.
employee.
I guess it's real. All right, and then, oh yeah, are you keeping your family up to date on the plans, Ember, or not particularly? Just so you're like, hey, this is kind of what's going on.
Hey everyone.
You're not.
Just so you know, something might go down in a couple days.
There's no reason to keep them super up to date. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh,
You gotta keep this close to the vest.
The more people who know,
the more we have to get rid of.
Who said that?
All right. So, we'll start by focusing in on, I think, Milo and Ember as you two make your way up. In the early morning, a lot of the workers are starting to make their way up towards the nursery. Now, there's a bunch of different tasks here to be done, and indeed, it's a very large part of the mountaintop that's been cleared and repurposed over many years. So it does need many a worker from within the city to make their way up each and every day. So blending yourselves into the crowd itself isn't too much the difficult point, at least not until you get near the top and people begin dispersing to their work locations. There is where we have some guards, sort of patrolling, keeping an eye on everyone, trying to make sure that everything is, everything's going to go smoothly that day. So, you're planning on rallying the workers with a good old song, right? I guess. What's the plan there? You're just gonna start setting up and start singing?
Yeah, let me see what my options are in terms of moves. If I commit to anything. Figure something out. Read a tense situation.
Yeah, I don't think anything's tense yet.
Trick. So we're just trying to distract any of the guards, right?
Yeah, so you're potentially tricking them to draw the attention your way. You're also potentially...
Okay.
What is it? all eyes on me, creating a distraction through
I was looking at
outlandish
that.
performance, right?
I'm gonna try that.
Leave.
So Milo is going to kind of do like a worker slash sort of like Bob Dylan-esque protest song,
Okay,
and we'll see how well it goes after the roll.
Oh.
sounds good.
Ooh!
A strong hit, so seems like rather well.
So Milo's gonna clear his throat and he's gonna go away from your sawmill, put down your axe and leave. I'm not the log you want, babe. That's not the tree you need. Like that sort of thing.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Very nice. And so you're able to draw attention from both some of the workers and some of the soldiers. Probably one of the Marquise guards, maybe Ember clocks this more than Milo, who's in the middle of the performance, or maybe Milo too, is like, it's one of the guards like looks your way with suspicion and starts like moving to interrupt. But then one of the other Marquis soldiers stops him and like nudges and whispers something. You can see like the recognition that perhaps word of either of Milo himself or words of your feats in Ironroot have preceded you. And so the guard seems to be particularly lax, and instead the one that will move to interrupt relaxes a bit when they start, tapping their feet or nodding along to it, paying attention in your direction.
I had to mark exhaustion real quick.
Yeah, so on a 10+, the room can't look away. Your allies take +1 ongoing to sneak, hide, pickpocket, or trust fate while you perform. Also, hold 1. Spend the hold to grant an ally a +3 for one of the aforementioned rolls instead.
Oh!
One.
Alright, so... Actually, so I'll let you guys place Milo and Ember. We have our diagram here, right? This is certainly not quite to scale, but it's a loose layout. You can picture these as like... These are different clusters of trees that were all planted at around the same time, right? And then you have over here is where processing and the little military camp is set up. So wherever you want to be drawing attention away, like drawing attention to, is where you can place yourselves.
So these clusters, like right here, are they?
They're full
like,
of trees, yeah, and like people are starting to move in to tend to the trees, whether that's depending on the stage that the trees are in, right? Like they might be going in and starting to prune them, they might be going in and watering them, whatever makes sense for.
I would say I would want to stay in the middle so people kind of gravitate towards the middle to hear the performance.
Mm-hmm.
That way Miffy can go along the outskirts and maybe start flaming up.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the guards that were concerned?
Yeah, there's a good
Which
number of guard just like patrolling all over the place. I'll put 2. And again, remember, very much not to scale, right?
Yeah.
With the tokens. But we'll say like there's 2 that are maybe like over here. There's certainly a pair at like every entrance, or like at the top of every path. And there's certainly a large number out by the encampment over here that you can spot through the trees. But there's probably more scattered about. And there's certainly a bunch of workers all throughout as well. Workers very much outnumbering the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and we'll just stick Otis is over here for now. Actually, he'll be over here, in this one here.
Cool.
All right. So Ember, as Milo performs, you can tell this one so far it's going rather well. Attention is brought your way, and no one moves to interrupt. Do you do anything to build on it, or are you preparing for the moment where things take a turn?
I'm trying to look through my moves to see if I should use any of those or wait.
Yeah, fair enough.
'Cause-
It has been a long time since we played, so take your time and read through. Yeah, I'll take a quick skim through along with you.
Huh. I don't think I need to make a roll right now because persuasion says promises or threats, and neither of those seems relevant.
Right.
And trick is also not relevant.
Yeah. So really right now you're not it's more of a, figure out what kind of thing you want to do first, and if a move applies, we can apply it. But otherwise, you don't have to do a move specifically, right? If you're still just sticking with Milo, keeping an eye out, that's good to know. If you have anything else you want to do, given the fact that things are succeeding, you've got a little bit of breathing room, right?
How much drink do I have?
Let's see. So the celebratory drinks are a small set of high quality beverages. So I think this is probably meant for like a small group, right? Like probably something where if it's like
Six-pack.
if it's I mean, it's funny you say it, because I would say probably something that could like be shared amongst half a dozen people at most, right? Like if you were to pour out a reasonable amount per person, somewhere around there, right?
Okay. Then I'm not going to offer that yet because that is premium and very useful.
Very expensive.
Yeah. And just kind of like dance a little bit, maybe. I don't know how good she is at dancing, but to show the jovial, like, she likes a good beat, and just be like, yeah.
What kind of dance?
Wiggle.
I'm picturing like you're just crumping.
Straight up crumping.
Yeah. Doing the Bartman.
All right. Well, then, with Ember dancing but keeping a hold on those drinks in case they're needed, Miffy, we'll pan over.
What do you want?
We're gonna pan over to the path that you're currently on. You are already tucked into one of the carts, hidden amongst like the ropes and tarps and things used to cover the trees once they're cut and brought down to be sent off elsewhere. So a lot of the processing done here is mainly to remove the branches, prepare them for transport to another town where they're processed further. So the cart you're in is rather spacious. You don't have the best cover, but you do have some cover against anyone who might be looking for you. So I will have you roll your hide roll.
So is that sneak?
You have a
It
separate
uses my
move.
sneak, I guess, right?
So it would be to attempt a roguish feat,
Okay.
which would use.
When you attempt a roguish feat that you are skilled in. So
you
should
are
I be
skilled in.
changing this to?
No, you don't change it. You just roll it as is. You roll with finesse, but you get the +1 from Milo's performance.
But what do I get from my cloak?
Your cloak lets you mark wear on it in order to improve a miss
Okay, so
to
I can
a weak hit.
understood. Okay, click.
Like, it doesn't actually add a plus. Alright, so you get a weak hit.
Do they get
Oh, yeah,
what,
plus-
+1?
Plus 1 is
Oh, yeah,
10.
plus
That's
one.
strong.
Is a
So
strong hit.
strong. Yes.
There you
nice.
go. Alright, on a strong hit, you achieve your goal. So,
Yes.
what happens in this case, Miffy, you're brought back up in this cart, and like it's put into one of these warehouse-like buildings, or adjacent to it. We'll say it's adjacent to one of them, and the Marquisians who have brought it up don't bother checking the inside, because why would they do that? It's empty. They already emptied it out at the bottom before leaving it unattended. So you're able to sneak out and take in your surroundings, right? What you quickly clock, Miffy, is that up towards this edge, the northern edge of this camp here, that's where a lot of the soldiers are staying. They're in the process of waking up and like, you know, doing their morning routines, a lot of them, even though the early patrols are out and about, but very much filled with soldiers at the moment. The building you're next to seems to have felled trees, having the last of their branches, you know, snipped off and otherwise being sanded down, getting ready for loading into a cart, much like your own. But the rest of these buildings, you're not entirely sure what they're for, other than that they have guards posted at them.
Okay. I'm guessing this was not like on the map or anything why they would be here.
No, I think Otis would have also mentioned that they don't know why they're here. Like you know what happens in all of the buildings. They know some of them are for processing, but the other ones are kept guarded.
Suspicious.
Oh yeah, Miffy, do you want to be flanked by Ashen Claws?
Do they get my rolls?
Generally speaking, they will roll. Like you'll be the one rolling, unless something, you know, some violence breaks out where there's otherwise, you know, an issue.
Also, Mordio, real quick, did you name the Ashen Claw leader Otis because of Milo and Otis, or is that just a coincidence?
I believe that's a coincidence. Maybe it was subconscious. It might have been subconscious.
Like, Otis, why is Otis giving me like ringing a bell in my head for some weird reason? It's like, oh right, the movie that a lot of animals were treated very well in.
It might have been a subconscious thing, right? Like maybe it popped off the list of potential names for that reason, but it was not intentional.
It took us 2 months to figure that out.
As for the Ashen Claws, I'm torn because like I think it would be good to have backup, but also if they fail their rolls, it's like ugh.
Yeah, like I'm generally speaking, I'm not going to be rolling for them unless it's really important for me to do so, right?
What's really important to you?
Probably, they're following your lead, right? So they're not going to break stealth if you want them with you.
All right. Okay, then I'll have some.
All right. So you got your 2 claws here. There we go. You know what? Maybe we'll say that Otis also had one friend who he was able to get hired with as well, so that he's got backup as well. And the rest are on standby out in the town to start drawing attention to the flames once they reach the sky. I think that sounds reasonable. All right. So, Miffy, you're here. You can hear Milo's performance in the distance. You probably can't quite see Milo from where you're at, both with the buildings in the way, and again, as I must emphasize, not to scale. So there is a good distance between you and like the center area, but you can still hear, of course, especially, you know, a performance being made.
Yeah.
So you've got some trees that are like, you know, some big old trunks that are cut down, potentially flammable, right beside you. You've got some tent materials currently occupied, but also potentially flammable. And you've got some secret buildings.
Let me look at this map again.
Secret?
Yeah.
Agent.
Okay, so the soldiers down here are distracted, but the ones up here are still on guard.
The ones up here are getting ready for the day, right? So like they're doing their like morning workout routines. Some of them are eating. They're the ones who aren't quite on shift yet, right? But like, you know, picture in like an hour or two, all of the ones who are currently out and about, they're probably going to rotate in. Like they're getting ready for the day, but they're not like active guard duty. Some of them are already armed, right?
How tall are these these buildings?
Pretty big.
Like, are they 2-story, 3-story, more?
2 or 3, in most cases. Yes, I'd say. Yeah, we'll go with 2 or 3. Like they're big warehousey type buildings, of varying shapes.
Okay. So wait, which ones are carts and which ones are buildings? Are
There's
just
no
like
carts
any
on
square...
there's no carts on the map. These are all buildings.
Oh, I thought I was in one.
Yeah, you were in one, but now you're out of it and you're next to
Oh,
a
okay, we
building.
managed to sneak like off into. Okay,
Yeah,
understood. All right, which one? And the secret building is which one? This one?
Yeah, it looks like these two are the secret buildings, or at least the ones that aren't obviously being used as warehouses, and they have guards in front of them.
Okay,
I can put individual guards just to show that. You know.
Okay.
Again, not to scale.
Right. I mean, I kind of want to get in between these two buildings and see if there's a way for us to get in it.
Like do like the dash across, sneak up around this side.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. I imagine you have like the claws trailing you a little bit. We see Miffy. We keep cutting between Milo's song and Miffy making progress through the little encampment. And you get up nice and close between the little alley between these two buildings. There's a pair of doors so that one could theoretically go from one building to the other rather easily. Let me see. Is this a... This might be a read a tense situation moment.
Okay.
I think. I'm taking a look, just making sure there's nothing else that I think makes sense. I think it probably is. You're surrounded by guards. You're looking to figure out what's going on here.
Okay, one more question, because I was only able to take one item, but I'm still able to start the fires. Like, I don't need anything. I have supplies to still start this fire.
You didn't bring fire starting supplies and you volunteered to start the fire?
Well, I thought it didn't. Well, okay, the Ashen Claws must have something, right?
Yeah, we'll say one of them has the fire starter knife then.
Oh my gosh.
All right. No, I want them to have a bow.
Okay, sure. One of them can have a bow then.
All right, great.
We'll say, you know, one will have the knife, one will have the bow. We'll keep our bases covered.
Perfect. Listen, I need the sneak. They need fire.
I need this. It's been a long time.
Okay. So I'm gonna read the tense situation right now.
Yes, do that one.
Okay.
All right. Weak hit. Ask one and take +1 when acting on the answer. What is the thing you most want to know about these buildings? There's sample questions there, but if you got a more specific one to your current scenario.
I need to know who's in these buildings right now. Like, how many people are they? Like, if I open a door, for example, like, is someone ready to open the door and spot me? Like, you know, what's going on in the buildings?
What's going on?
Do I hear
buildings?
anything?
Perfect. I think who's in the buildings is a good way to phrase it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So Miffy, you make your way up between these buildings. Wait for a moment where the guards aren't quite, aren't looking or aren't too nearby, and you take your knife. You have a knife, right?
Yeah.
And you pry it between some of the boards and give yourself a little peephole and look each direction, right? In one of them, you see a handful of cats all surrounding what looks like they're all surrounding a table with a bunch of gears on it, and they look to be hard at work even this early in the morning. They're murmuring between themselves all sorts of terms and concepts that you don't really have any context for. Numbers and measurements. Very science-y type stuff is happening in one of these buildings. And it looks like they have fresh-made gears from these dusk redwoods. And that's happening in this building here.
Mm-hmm.
And in the other building over here, you perform the same maneuver, and you hear a voice as you you peek through. You can't quite get a good look at who's speaking or who is in there with him, but you recognize the voice that you've heard shortly after you arrived. This cat speaking is the current leader of the Marquise in this region. Lieutenant Charles Minuet, right? And he's saying to someone, so there's at least one other cat in there. He's saying, patience. We can wait a bit longer to see what happens. And if it turns out to be false, we can make sure that those tipsters are rewarded for wasting our time.
Tipsters.
Yes,
Interesting.
He seems to be urging the other one to be patient, and that something might happen soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have enough context for that, but I will log that in the old mousy brain of mine. Yes?
Yeah, I was going to say, I imagine at this point, Milo, you've certainly at least finished one song and have moved on to a second or third.
You gotta end it with a slow song.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a particular signal amongst the songs that you all have for one another, right? Like, certainly Miffy can't communicate back, so obviously, but Milo, I don't know if you have anything. Right now, everything's going good, but just something to think about if you have any signals you want to communicate, like I'm running out of material, or, you know. I don't think Milo's the sort to run out of material, though, but...
Well, I guess I'm still going strong, so...
Yeah, you're still going strong for the moment.
I think right now Milo's like... They're doing a song.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Milo's continuing the performance. Ember, you clock during it. Otis and Anadir all working amongst this cluster of new growth.
Oh wait, I got it.
Trees.
Hold on, sorry.
You got one?
It's like working on the hilltop, going down. Working on the hilltop. Boop, I'm gonna axe down. There we go.
Very nice. Alright. Ember, can I have you roll cunning, please? I don't think this is a specific move, but the same rules apply. 7 to 9 is something weak. Oh, 4.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
Very strong.
Nice.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I see all.
Ember, as this performance proceeds, I think you noticed like the carts being brought back up to be loaded for the day, right? And so you have that assumption that Miffy's up here now. There's no violence that is broken out, so as far you assume Miffy's still in stealth somewhere. I think as you're looking this direction.
Schrodinger's Miffy.
Yeah. As you're looking around, though, something that you notice, which you find a little bit odd, is it looks like, you know, there's a bunch of irrigation set up here, right? We can see it in the background. There's like some unnatural... There's like some natural water flowing, but then they have it spread out to like, you know, hit all of the different fields as appropriate. But notice that there's also some large containers of like, you know, big barrels of waters and things that have been placed throughout the nursery, like amongst the different sets of trees, amongst you know, near some of the buildings. And you might at first think, oh, these are just like, you know, water for watering the plants or whatever. And in fact, maybe it is. But something that you're just beginning to clock is that none of the soldiers are ever too far from one of these barrels of water.
Squinting.
Just they're drinking water.
And we're sure, and it's definitely water.
I think you can. I think you can tell from like some of them being opened, right? Like open topped or whatever, right? Maybe not all of them are open topped. At least enough are that you can tell.
This is good information to know, and I do not know what to do with it. Oh man.
All right. Well, with that information,
I
have a
would
question.
probably.
okay.
Oh.
Ember,
Sorry, no,
you go
first.
first.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ember, go
you
first.
Okay. Maybe ask. Head over and actually ask one of the soldiers if I could get some water for their performer.
Oh yeah, just like ask if it's something. Try to gauge their reaction, see if it's too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll carry forward that 14 there. And when you ask for water for the performer, well, it's like, oh yeah, you can get it, and like they start gesturing towards some of the buildings, almost as if like they don't immediately think of the barrels as being like for drinking, but then like sort of either if you call attention to it with your eyes or like their eyes pass through it, they'll be like, oh yeah, or there. And I think Ember, the impression you get is that they're not too used to these barrels being here. They're a recent addition. Right?
Yeah. All right. I'll get Milo some water and quietly point out to him that there are a lot of water barrels that aren't usually here.
Are they gonna pour it on the coach when they win the big game?
That's a lot of pouring.
God, can you imagine just like dozens of them and just
nice bucket challenge over here.
Oof.
Okay.
Milo narrows his eyes. And then he starts playing God, what's a good song? A song to like kind of make it seem like something strange might be afoot. Like
The song lyrics could go, something strange is afoot.
Weird science.
And Miffy's in the chair with the silver spoon. I don't know. Just I play a song that's like something's a little off kilter. I play Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Oh my god.
All right, because you've had a pretty good performance thus far. You'll be able to communicate at least that much towards Miffy. Probably next time we loop around to performing, we'll get another role for the new stretch of time. But I think strong hits should last a while. I feel like.
Yeah.
So, Miffy, you get that information as well. It's like something's a little off here, and you pair that with what you've heard, but you still have actions to take.
So, question: Can I use the reputation move, meet someone important? Like, even though I haven't met them, I have seen them and know kind of who this is. Can I make a more educated, like, knowledge check about who this person is?
All right, let me see. I think meet someone important is more for when you like have a meeting with them, right? Part of the role is they know you, right?
Well,
is whether or not they roll you.
The hits are about them, right?
No,
it says it where yours too.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. Okay. I'm going to turn to my Ashen Claws and point my dagger to one of their throats. Which one of you's the rat? And don't look at me. You tell someone about this? One of your buddies? Tell them about what's gonna happen? Huh? I'm not stupid.
They both shake their head vigorously.
No, please, God, no. No!
The plan's off.
Whoa.
Well,
damn, just like that?
We're gonna get caught. Someone's already tipped them off. They've got water bottles. Or, well, water barrels.
Slight difference in size.
That got Flood from Super Mario Sunshine.
In fact, I'm already paranoid that Otis is gonna pin it on us.
And I tried to set him up with the Onadir. Sweet, innocent Onadir.
That's right, inner voice me.
Miffy, I think if you want to try to convince the Ashen Claws who snuck up here specifically to do a arson, to not do a arson, you will need to persuade them with promises or threats. I think the knife qualifies as a threat, considering how you were brandishing it a second ago. But you will need to roll persuade because they are here for a reason, right?
Well, they can do it, but I'm out.
Damn. Did we just bounce and let them get caught?
Well, they shouldn't get caught.
I mean, if you split from them, that's a good reason for them not to go off your rolls, right?
I mean, wasn't part of the plan also to, like, have something to do with the Eyrie? Like, we were going to plan evidence?
We were, but they're suspicious.
So, you just...
And they have tipsters. I need to find out who this tipster is.
Well, that might be a problem, because since we introduced Otis to Onadir, and Onadir is a big fan of Milo...
What's that? What?
Well, like, if Otis gets caught, and like he's trying to blame it on us, and he wants to distance himself, he can say it was us because he has connection through Onadir to us. Like, it may be thin, but it might be enough reason to get us, like, in trouble.
Would it though? I feel like we have evidence that we haven't done anything.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say
we have evidence against him actually. So it would be really bad for him to turn on us unless because we haven't done anything yet.
What do we really know about Otis besides he wants Marquise out, quote unquote?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know much about him. I mean, he seems easily swayed. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying I believe that he actually is.
I mean, we were trying to stop the arsons at first, but then
then you decided to commit one.
Got swept into the fervor. Listen, I love a good fervor as much as anyone, but now that we've had time to think, like maybe 55 days to think, maybe we shouldn't have gone all in immediately.
No, let me be clear. I'm all for arson.
No, I am too. But I want arson with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like an honest to goodness, not a false flag arson. Well, a false flag, but like a beneficial false flag arson. I don't want to be stuck holding the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Even
so
I'm not even the one who struck it. You know.
Let me just ask the party because I think I don't want it to be like no fun if I suddenly stop doing something. But I like. Would you like to continue with the plan even though we have all this stuff, like suspicious stuff?
Like right now,
you could go talk to Otis.
Could send one of the Ashen Claws. Oh, shit. Like, kind of take maybe one of the Ashen Claws hostage and send the other one to bring back Otis, so you can discuss terms some more.
I don't think I need to bring them hostage. We just need to let them know that there is someone.
Complications.
There's someone is onto us.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Alright. So, I guess the question... So you're sending one of the Ashen Claws to Otis. Alright. I think here's what's gonna happen. Miffy, it sounds like you're holding position. Right? You send an Ashen Claw to go mingle towards Otis, who will probably drift a little bit this way, and maybe Ember can make eye contact and swing over. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Alright, so I think there we can have at least a little bit of a conversation with our mobile ones and now cross-pollinate the information that we've got, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Ember, you learn what Miffy's seen, you relay what you've observed, to which Otis seems to be quite upset about. right?
Yeah.
I want to do my big arson.
Yeah, it's impossible. I handpicked every one of the claws. No one would be a snitch.
How soundproof is that building?
How trustworthy is your mom?
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm just saying.
Damn.
I haven't told her anything, just that, hey, we're working on stuff. Bye!
I'm still... Okay, I'm gonna try convey this information across the field. Well, I guess I wouldn't know, so I guess I couldn't do that. Well, actually, no, Amber is kind of conveying it towards me loosely.
I think right now Ember hasn't gotten anything back to you yet, but we'll get to that in a moment, certainly. Just like have this little conversation with Ember and Otis, and then we can disseminate that back to Miffy and Milo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now I can't really intervene with, with what I have.
Not while still performing, right? I mean, if you want to say it out loud for the group, you're welcome to do so, just in case any of the other characters have it.
They wouldn't know, and I wouldn't have the thought unless I knew something was up, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Otis would say, like in a very hushed voice, like hurried, like we can't talk about this too long without looking suspicious, but even if they might have an idea, we can still pull it off. Actually, maybe this works. This still works, right? The plan was for me to put it out, to solve it. They've already given me the tools that I need. What we need to do is just adjust. Draw the guards away so that they can't use the barrels, and that I can.
Which direction?
Away from wherever the mouse is gonna set the fire.
Okay, Milo starts playing Go West by the Village People. Go West.
Okay.
Alright. Does that sound
Amber.
acceptable? Otis is trying to pivot.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be sending the claw over to Miffy for Miffy's part, and that will decide the final bit because fire. But Ember's on board and will at the end be like an encouraging, yeah, you're too great.
Alright, so Milo, can I get another one of your perform distraction rolls for this like renewed movement?
Want me just to do straight charm?
Let me see. I think the which where's that other special one? Because I think technically you're still doing. Oh, I guess yeah. If you want to do straight charm, you won't get any of the extra bonuses from all eyes on me, but then you won't have to mark exhaustion. So, yeah, if you want to roll the straight charm, that's fine.
Oh God!
You're on fire!
Remember the first session or the second session where your plan immediately met with a string of failures? Here you guys are getting all strong hits. You might be able to succeed despite being set up against, at least in some way, right? So, Milo, you renew your performance with vigor, using your mastery over song to draw attention a little bit this way, a little bit that way, getting soldiers to leave.
Everybody to the left. Clap, clap, clap your paws. Clap, 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 clap.
So you're able to draw the attention, create some open spots. Otis drifts towards one of the barrels, and Miffy, you get the plan. Still set the fire, but just it's going to have to be a big burst fast, and Otis is going to have to put it out fast to still get the credit for it, right? But that's just
Sounds good. Can I burn these buildings down?
Can I burn these buildings down? Yeah, which one do you want to go for? The one with the scientists or the one with the soldiers? Or one of the warehouses? The warehouses are probably the easiest to go for.
I want to. Well, we gotta do the ones with all the tools in them. So the scientists, I suppose.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Are you murdering the scientists first, or are you setting it?
Whoa!
Whoa!
This is important. This is an important question.
Listen, I'm not gonna do what is it? That game where it's really popular with the son and daughter, but they're not son and daughter, and the zombies and
Last of Us?
yeah,
Last
I'm
of
not gonna
Us?
do the Last of Us thing.
Oh my god. So confused.
Okay.
Wow,
You're not
okay.
gonna hit Agent 47 all these scientists.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see what I want to do is like they're gonna start their bows right with the fire. I want to just take one of their flames before they do that, and I have some fancy paper. I do have that on my inventory. I'm gonna light that on fire and hopefully catch the building on fire simultaneously while they blow it up.
I thought you were
Hold
gonna
on.
make like a paper airplane and set it on fire.
Oh, that sounds fun too.
That's more stylish. Gain the roguish feat counterfeit. So you're gonna get rid of your feet?
I do want us to. We gotta get out of here quick, right? So I need them to like shoot the fire, but then we need to like blend in with the fire. I need to steal them, right? And get them going so we can shoot past the fire.
Become the fire. Well, you have the cloak of deep shadow. Why don't you use that to sneak away?
Well, I mean, I will, but it's not like a guaranteed thing. It just makes it better, so I'll just be using it regardless.
Well, I have that hold from my All Eyes on Me, so I can probably use that to get you a +3 on sneaking and hiding.
Yeah. I mean, either way, the sneak. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So plan
Like-
is unleash the claws on the science building. Get out as quickly as possible. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Miffy, we're gonna have. Let's see. I think we're gonna have 2 rolls from you.
All right.
All right. The 2 rolls are going to be wreck something. Even though technically the claws are doing it, they're doing it with your direction. So we're gonna have you roll the wreck something, and then we're gonna have a separate roll for getting away. So, which is probably going to be the same one you used to get here.
Okay. Also, I have my mask on.
Okay. Mask is on.
All right. Wreck something.
Give me something to wreck.
Strong hit.
Strong hit.
Oh.
So the flames, they burn well. With your 2 claws at your side, you're able to direct here, and here. And with the kindling knife and with the burning arrows, they swiftly set fire to this building. All right.
What's the second one?
Second one is going to be your hide, which is your roguish feat.
Okay.
Same
Then
one
I
you
have a
used to
plus
get in.
list.
Let's see what
Right?
you roll first, and then I'll add.
Oh, okay.
I'll add it if you need it.
All right. Attempt a roguish feat.
I'm gonna spend my hold to plus that. Add +3 to that.
The strong hit. All right, so our 3 arsonists set the flame and then very swiftly move. As the fire starts to spread, the Lieutenant Colonel Charles Minuet ventures out from the building just as Otis shouts out, "Fire!" and runs towards one of the barrels and begins to heft it and make his way over. The 3 claws and the 2 claws and Miffy. I assume you 2 you 3 when the soldiers all look. Your plan is to be darting out into the forest, as everyone turns to look at the fire, right?
Yeah.
That's your plan.
And just a bad turn of events. I just started playing "It's Getting Hot in Here," and it's getting to the part where the roof is on fire. We don't care. Let the motherfucker burn. But I'm trying to warn people there is an actual fire, and it's just they're just too into the song to.
The
really
roof is
notice
on
it's
fire.
actually-
We do care, actually. Please keep a safe distance.
Let the first responders in really quickly.
All right. And so with Otis rushing over to start putting out the flames with the water, it certainly causes a scene, but is perhaps not the brilliant plume of flame that they wanted, or that he wanted. But you all do manage to get away without suspicion, and we'll reconvene for our.
Okay.
Let's go back to the den.
Woo!
Go back to the den, as unfortunately, the fires are put out relatively swiftly, and so while there is a murmur of unease throughout Dion's den that something so bold had happened, there is no immediate rallying cry like there was before, right? Or rather, not like there was before, like was the intent of Otis's plan, right? This does not cause as big of a scene. So I think Otis is quite angry, and has insisted on going to a different hideout in case the previous one was found out. But it's the same group of people. Right. If anyone was leaking it before, it's still the same 6 of them and 3 of you. But it's just he's pacing, rubbing his forehead, his ears are twitching. Just I can't believe it. How could they have found out? We made things a little bit more uneasy, but that's all we had to show for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I don't. This isn't good. Ugh.
The music shows his anxiety.
Yeah, he is really anxious. What are we supposed to do now? That was our shot, and we blew it.
No. You were smart about it. Listen, they were prepared. Even if it was bigger, I think it would have still turned out the same. Not as dramatic as we wanted. We have to find out why.
Why?
Use all that anger and find out why. Listen, someone is either spilling the beans or is sloppy.
Sloppy beans all around.
That's right, Milo, sloppy beans. And we can't have that.
I mean, do you think it's possible they just, after all these fires, they just started wising up and started putting barrels near where they'd be occurring? Or is that just too big of a spot to even question?
I mean, maybe they would have, except for what Miffy heard. Sounded like they knew we were coming.
Oh, you know what? They also said if something happened, if not or nothing happened, they would have to quote reward their tipsters. Well, even though something did happen, that means they're probably still getting something from their tipster. They're still gonna collaborate with them, whoever they are. We just have to tail them. Probably happening right now.
You say that, and then Otis swears as if he didn't think about that. Since he didn't think of that. Yeah, you're right. The Lieutenant Colonel, we need to find him. See who he's talking to. And then he says that, but he's but if it's one of us. His eyes look over the group. Look over all of his hand-picked recruits.
Okay, first of all, his hand-picked recruits, he recruited me, so I don't know about...
Honestly, probably the best recruiting decision he made, really. But
yeah,
I would say he's quick to trust.
He is quick to trust. And like you said before, you were able to get him worked up pretty easily too, right?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of went both ways with us, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, in the back, there's just one recruit who's wearing a trench coat and a top hat and has a Groucho Marx glasses on, speaks with a very poorly disguised French accent, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, so he
right,
seems
we are going to burn the tops of the trees.
he expresses his frustration. He's frustrated. He's like, okay, we should be going, but he doesn't even know where to start, right? Like, you're not going to run back up to the top. You could go check the military encampment. But otherwise, I guess maybe the mayor's manor, but I wouldn't even know. I don't know. We could try to break in, I guess, but there's no guarantee any such thing would even happen there. We don't know where a meeting would take place. Do any of you have ideas on how you might find out?
I kind of get up close to Otis. I go, now, Otis, I know Miffy introduced you to Anna, dear, and, well, she's a swell gal, has a good taste in music. You weren't discussing anything a little too, close to the chest with her during that time, were you?
Of course not. I'm a professional, says...
A professional.
Yeah, says this, 20-year-old who has only just formed this little gang, a month ago.
Yep.
I've only been posting it on my private X account, not my public one. So they wouldn't know it was me.
Well, what do we know about this lieutenant? Does he have a favorite place to drink? Does he have you seen him before? Where would anything about him? Anything?
He's usually at the encampments, walking the streets. I think so. You guys have also been you've been out and about over the past 2 weeks here, right? So why don't you make a roll? Let me see what would be a good roll for it. I think probably I could see a read a 10 situation, or perhaps a I think there was a second one I saw. Oh, maybe not. Or figure someone out, right, from your limited interactions with the lieutenant over the course of the past 2 weeks, or lieutenant colonel. One of you can roll with the others assisting. Just decide which one of you wants to roll, and which ones wants to assist. Or rather, you don't have to decide assisting at first. You only have to assist if it will make a difference.
Okay. And this is figure someone out or read a tense situation?
Yeah, either for thinking back on what you've seen as a whole over the past couple weeks, or judging from your few interactions with the lieutenant colonel.
I can roll for that.
All right, a weak hit. So if Miffy and Ember both want to assist by marking exhaustion, then that would turn into a strong hit.
Cool.
If that's something you both want to do.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
All right. So.
When you read
I ask 3.
Yep, you can ask 3.
Have we been noticing a tail at any point?
On you and your group?
Yes.
Like that kind of stuff? No, it doesn't appear to be so. At least nothing. Like, you think back and you're trying to remember all the people you've passed on the street, and no one consistent. Like, the three of you go back and forth. It's like, oh wait, wasn't there that one that one fox with the brown smudge on one ear? We saw that one more than once. It's like, no, that person wasn't tailing us. We just ran into them more than once, right? And you go through a couple.
I think chocolate on the ear too. So
yeah, all right. But it's you don't think you've been spied on. I'll even raise you. You don't think you've been spied on either. You think back to the previous location you were at, and it wasn't the best secret location, but you never felt like anyone was sneaking up on you. You never noticed any signs of someone listening in on your conversations.
Okay. How about, have any of the Ashen Claws recruits, are they acting dodgy? Are they maybe avoiding eye contact or something?
No, it does. I think that's also not the case either. For better or for worse, ooh, that one was more loud than I thought it would be. For better or for worse, Otis did seem to have picked people who were loyal to him. Maybe competence isn't the highest amongst them, but you know they're all loyal to the cause, fiercely so. If anything, they're all now currently a little bit paranoid over trying to figure out which one's the least loyal, right? Who's the one who would most likely break?
I love sowing discourse.
But you don't think that any of them are giving off signs of them themselves being a traitor. So between those two questions, I think it's you feel relatively certain that the cause is outside of everyone that you've met. Like at least as far as the claws are concerned, right?
So what's left?
Well, if you eliminate the obvious, the only thing left is the impossible.
What's the impossible?
Otis.
Oop,
No.
unless...
If you want, you can roll a cunning roll for me.
Should I?
If you'd like. If you're
That'd
not
be
sure,
crazy because we gave him the idea.
if you're not sure what question you want to ask, I'll let you roll a cunning roll. On a weak hit, I'll make you mark exhaustion for a question I think would be most useful. On a strong hit, I'll tell you the question that I think would be most useful. Or you can just pick a third question. Up to you. I only intervened since you sounded unsure.
Otis would make sense, but in terms of we've exhausted all other options.
Go ahead and roll that cunning.
Yeah, roll that cutting roll then.
Is that question? Are we gonna roll for this question? It's gonna be the most obvious question.
I don't know. Well, you'll
That's
find
not
out.
the question
I guess.
I'm asking, but
Yeah.
with that
That's your
roll,
third question.
Is your third
Yes.
No!
The genie
Man,
says.
I wish someone would make me a sandwich. Wish granted. No!
No.
Turn it into a sandwich. We may not know who did it, but who would benefit the most from us being caught, or all these arsons being tamped down?
Honestly, the whole city.
But
Oof.
there are kind of a couple factions in the city. We got, the Marquise, we got the mayor, we got the Ashen Claws.
Did you roll the cunning, or you still want to try to figure it out yourself?
I just to satisfy myself, and because I'm so stubborn, who do you think would benefit the most from squashing us in the middle of our act of setting the arson? Would it be the Marquise? It would kind of be the Marquise because they got tipped. So, who outside of them would benefit the most from us getting caught, or a rebel force getting caught?
That's your third question?
Yeah.
All right, I think that one's a tough one to answer because, like Miffy was just saying, right? There's a lot of different reasons why someone could. If, for example, the mayor knew about it, maybe the mayor could actually earn some powers back since he's been getting talked over for basically Ember's entire life, right? So maybe he could actually be taken seriously, but you don't know how he would have a way to know that. You don't know of any Eyrie presence who would potentially be able to, be an informant. But if there was an Eyrie presence, you'd expect them to help the arsonists, not the Marquise, so you don't see anything there. Could be someone who just wants the arsons to stop, but that doesn't make quite much sense either. I think probably what comes to you is that there is no obvious actor. The biggest obvious actor is the Marquise, right? By stopping you and letting it happen, but catching you, they could justify further crackdowns, right?
Yeah,
but clearly they were tipped off by someone you feel relatively confident that you haven't met this whoever this third actor is. Right.
Can we still take that cunning roll?
You maybe could, but now you're out of
Oh.
questions.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's alright. Well, we'll just have to be extra smart.
Looks like we're gonna have to find the mayor and tie him up.
Hey, Otis. Have you talked to any of the other previous factions about this? Like, there's been stuff in Dion's Den for, ages. And you're doing this, and the Ashen Paws is a new one to, bring new blood in. But have you talked to any of the others to try and get something going before?
I was trying at first, but no one was really biting. No one wanted to. Everyone here is so focused on stealing trinkets. And the way he says trinkets, I don't know how it makes Ember feel, but Ember, it would make your mother feel offended, right?
Me, as I literally stole trinkets to gift to my mother.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's like no one wanted to try to do anything grander. At least no one of the old guard. No. Yeah, but when you say it, there is something, I think you see, there's a thought in his head that, passes through, and he holds it for a second, but then lets go of it.
Squints.
What was that just now?
Was what? He's strangely a little bit calmer than he was a second before.
Okay. Can I roll figure something out?
Just to figure someone out? Yeah, you could probably roll that.
Okay.
Weak hit. Hold one. Alright, you can ask a question.
Question?
Yeah.
Trying to think how to phrase this.
Yeah, you got 5 to choose from as well in the set. That might also be good inspiration if you need it.
What does this character intend to do?
What do they intend to do? I think...
Do we think that the arson is really a way to get control of the city, or is there maybe an ulterior motive?
You think that Otis has meant everything that he says about his goals and etc. And in fact, probably didn't even think about taking over the city until Miffy put the idea there, if we're being entirely honest. If we're being entirely honest, that seems like a recent development.
Yes.
But perhaps, and to save us from floundering for a bit, perhaps that in and of itself is its own clue, right? You're sitting here reflecting, it's Otis seems to really believe what he's saying, but then when Miffy was talking to Otis seemed to really believe what Miffy was saying, right? When Miffy was
Wait, what are you
Otis
saying?
ideas.
Are you saying I'm the chicken, the rat?
No.
I'll have you know that's specious.
No, what I'm saying is, it seems like Otis can very easily get wrapped up in other people's ideas.
Oh, so someone else put arson in his head. Someone else put arson in... Who... Did anyone... yeah, okay. That's what it is. Alright.
Hey, Otis, you want to start a bakery with me in town?
You might need to wait for him to cool off a little bit before that one, before you pitch that one.
Some fresh baked Kaiser rolls, or
Listen, Otis. Did anyone, how did you feel inspired? Who lit the fire under you, so to speak?
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sure you were real tired of things happening to your town. And you probably asked the question, what's someone gonna do about this? And someone said, well, it'd be real nice if someone could light a fire under the
The
marquee.
oven, so we can bake this bread.
Yeah? Anyone seemed sympathetic to your cause, but didn't want to do anything themselves?
Well, like there's a moment like where you say that, and he says, "Well, yeah, there's been people sympathetic, but he's done a lot for us."
Who's he?
And like when he says that, he looks towards some of the stuff that you all are holding, all of this really expensive, high quality stuff.
Okay.
Oh.
The captain.
The captain! Oh my god, this guy's an idiot!
What?
This guy's an idiot!
And of course, Miffy, you know that captain is the title held by all company merchants.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Okay, now I'm gonna do an arson right now!
I hand a bottle of the booze Masha had, or Amber had, like, quickly before she tries to find more accelerant. Start chugging.
I mean, I didn't use any of it.
Where were they? Where is she?
Where is
Oh.
Oh,
If Joker fights so much, they've gone to Batman.
yep.
Yeah.
I assume that was a real demand, right, Miffy?
Yeah. But not where is she? It sounded like it was a him. Where is she?
I think Otis is taken aback by Miffy's sudden aggression being like pointed his direction, right? It's just like he said I could only ever meet him alone.
I'm like, Miffy is like pacing in circles, pulling at her fur, like, oh, get the darkest schmacker fucking big living.
Uh-oh.
And I like, whew. Listen, pal, he's doing the same thing to you that he did to me. We're both fools for believing in him. Oh, I know this person's name, right?
I mean, you might not. It depends on, is this the same one or is this just company policy?
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. How could I decide that though?
Decide what?
What do they look
Decide
like?
if I know the specific captain.
You'll have to meet up with them, and then you have a move. You specifically have a move that lets you decide that you know this person.
Yeah,
or
it's
not.
when I meet someone for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I probably know how they operate generally, right?
Mhm.
Like, where would they'd probably be, well, they're not near a river right now. Like, where can I go to find someone from the company?
Mm-hmm. From what you can tell, Miffy, I think Miffy, as soon as you hear like that it's a captain, all these synapses fire in your mouse brain, right? Just like you're like this company person is laying low, and then it's like you're thinking like, but why would they be laying low? And then you get the thoughts like, because it doesn't matter to them which one wins, right?
Right.
It's like they're playing both sides.
Right.
Either
right.
way they can profit, but they're laying low until there's a winner, right? So you probably need to go through Otis to figure out where they're at because there's no water, right? So you're likely not looking for a stereotypical captain with a boat. There's probably someone with a cart, which could be anywhere, really, right?
Understood. Okay. All right. Listen. This is the. Oh my god, it's so hard to like choose a word that's not animal specific. This is the mole. This is the rat. You know. This is
The snitch.
this is the snitch. Listen, he played on your heart, kid. Played on your heart.
I don't understand. Why would he give us
I'll-
all this stuff?
Well, let me make it clear to you. He doesn't care about your cause, and he doesn't care about the Marquis. What he cares about is the money, baby. The money. And whoever wins on this side, he was gonna influence you to kingdom come. He was gonna put his wares and all of his profit-making ideas into the town while you were dancing up on top.
He said that he knew of some artisans outside the woodland that would make for good buyers for the dusk redwood.
And I'm sure he would. At 50% the cost, he would take 50% of your stuff. Maybe even 60. Who knows? They'll bleed you dry. You would have paid dearly for those people, for those customers.
Miffy,
And I bet you would see a red cent.
Miffy, make a persuade. Even though you're not making promises or threats. Oh, I guess it's kind of it's like this. You promise this is what they would have done to you, right? But it's more like I want to see how effective you are at getting them riled up, right? This is less whether or not they agree with you, whether or not they're like angry, right?
Yeah. Get angry! Sorry, this is a sway, right?
Oh, is there a separate mood called sway?
Oh, I thought I saw that, but maybe
Oh yeah, there is one called sway at NPC. You try to sway an open or vulnerable NPC, you're feeling their belief in your rep. That's so that's a little different.
Oh, okay.
You don't have the reputation for it yet.
Yeah.
Roll with reputation for them. Okay.
Yeah, so this one would just be roll persuade instead.
Okay. Persuade.
And while Miffy's rolling this, Ember, can I have you just roll a cunning roll real quick, just for a little bit extra?
Oof.
Damn.
All right.
Miffy's pretty good.
Miffy, like, you turn Otis's disbelief into anger, right? Your anger at the company is now Otis's anger. Like, the way you felt that you were betrayed, Otis now feels that he was also betrayed, because in a way, he kind of was, if you're correct, right?
If I'm correct.
Which you don't know for sure.
Listen,
But this campaign has a title, so.
Yeah.
But
when Otis mentioned the captain, the Kill Bill klaxon went off and
Yeah, exactly.
all right. And so Ember,
Right,
as Miffy's getting Otis worked up, something that clicks for you is that this captain isn't even using an original idea. Your current mayor, Blith Nightsong, he was the one who he used to work for the Eyrie, but when the Marquise showed up and was a threat, he very quickly rallied the people, or he very quickly sold out the town and convinced the people it was in the best interest to switch over to the Marquisiate, in the same way that this captain is trying to do the same here, right? Like, oh, well, the Marquisiate's bad for you. Instead, make a partnership with the company, right? Like, it's almost the same play, right? Some group breaks in, makes a big show of being a danger, then someone else sells out. Otis has almost pulled a Blith Night song, and we saw how well that went for the mayor. But but here we are. So that's more of just a fun fact for Ember, as someone who's lived here, to see the historical parallels playing out in your own lifetime. Right?
Oh, she observes.
Right. But with Otis angry, Miffy, he'll admit, Captain has a house outside of the shaded part of the den, out by some of the major trading posts. I can take you there.
all right. Milo gets up kind of woozily and starts aiming their fire starter bow in what he assumes is the direction of the house.
Oh my
Let's get
god.
this over with.
No. I need some
Outside
words.
of the cave.
Milo!
No, I'll do it out the window. It'll be fine. I'm good at it.
Milo!
I've been rolling real good today. I'll be fine.
that energy for later, big guy.
Okay.
Ember has
Gets back to
also
his bottle.
Ember has sipped of the good stuff, but not as much as Milo has.
All right.
Bring your guys.
All right. Bring the whole
We're gonna
gang.
intimidate the fuck out of this guy.
All
Would
right.
he? Okay, I have Ember has a question for Miffy.
Okay, yes.
Ooh.
So if this is company stuff, would they be expecting, like, is this something that they would be expecting to come their way? Like, would they be expecting backlash after this, or is it still kind of obvious to them that we're quote
Are they
unquote?
expecting us specifically, are you asking?
No, like, are they expecting backlash, or do they still think we're looking
I think
elsewhere?
Well, I think that because it didn't go one way or the other, it kind of like fell flat, that they're still in the game, right? Like, so they don't really expect backlash necessarily from the Marquis, just being like, probably in that respect, it's like, well, there was something, right? And then probably to Otis, well, I did give you the opportunity, right? You know?
Right. Still playing both sides until.
Okay.
So I don't
Happens.
think they're expecting backlash because it kind of like fizzled, right? But didn't fail in any particular way.
Yeah, I just don't want to march over there into, soldiers.
I don't think so. It's possible. Like, we could have a small party go up first because the Marquis could be talking to them first. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that was my concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Makes
totally.
sense.
That makes sense. All right. Listen, we definitely have to deal with this guy, but we don't know if the Marquis is there first. So let's go check it out first. We don't need this guy's direction, right?
What, Otis?
Yeah.
I mean, you made him angry, so he wants to come too. but-
Okay, yeah, he should come, but the other guys should stay back. But
Okay.
Just,
at a distance near enough that if someone starts a brawl, they can all rush in like a round or two later. But
mosh pit.
yeah, okay, that can happen. But Otis will come with you guys.
Do you
and
hear the people sing?
All right. So let me see.
My name is Otis. Odland.
So we make our way outside of the cave, out into the area where you can see the sun that's now risen, right? No longer, no longer dawn as a few hours have passed, and you make your way towards the building. Otis points it out to you, and I think as you arrive, you do see two Marquisian soldiers leaving the building.
Do they look like they just beat someone up, or did they like give cash over? Like what can I? Do they have a bag full of money they just like left? Well, what do they look like? What do they look like?
I think there's no signs of violence on their persons. So if they beat someone up, it was very one-sided.
Okay, they probably got money out of it. I don't know. Let's see.
All right. So are you sneaking in, or are you kicking in the door, like waiting for the soldiers to be out of it?
I think it'd be funny if we snuck in. Be really scary.
Okay. Roll your.
The soldiers leave, and he is just in the corner, like, so.
They close the door.
Okay. This is attempt a roguish feat. Oh, I didn't mean to do it twice.
All right, then you get the first one, which works out better
Roll
for
with
you.
advantage.
Works well.
Yep. All right. Weak hit. A 7 to 9, you achieve your goal, or mark exhaustion, or one risk of your feat. So let me see what those risks are, unless you know what you want to.
What are the risks? I want to know.
This is for sneaking. This is break something, draw unwanted attention, or plunge into danger.
Can I choose them?
No, I choose the risk.
Okay.
You take exhaustion, or I choose a risk.
No. Why don't you choose one for me?
I choose one?
Ooh.
Okay. Are all 4 of you going in?
I can stay back unless you want me to bat my eyelashes and cry.
Yeah, you have more of a stake in the town, so you go in with Miffy, and
Cool.
I'll be outside, just kind of like outside.
Which is going on.
Well, it's wicked, so I can't have it out on me. So,
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
but it'll come out if things get tasty.
Okay. Alright, so let's see. This is break something, draw unwanted attention, or plunge into danger. Alright, I think I think I know what I want to do, but it's not going to be immediately apparent quite yet. So
Okay.
the three of you will make your way into the building, right? Like as the Marquisiate soldiers leave, like you wait for them to turn the corner, you make your way in, like either climb up to one of the higher windows, like facing an alley, crack it, slip inside. Listening, it's quiet on the inside. You don't hear a lot of movement. Maybe just a little bit of movement of coin more than anything else, coming from one of the rooms. Make your way closer. Are you trying to like get the drop on?
No, I want to say a fun one-liner to introduce myself.
Okay. All right.
I said the drop of a coin. I was picturing he's playing a coin dozer.
All right. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Miffy, you can kick in the door and introduce yourself.
I'm deciding between 2 lines, but I guess I'll just pick the one I thought of first.
We're just standing outside the door as Miffy's muttering to herself.
Rather generous of you, gifting me this cloak. Makes it real easy to slip in unnoticed.
If you say that as you open the door and make eye contact with the figure seated at a rather large desk, there sits Captain Stephen Karzak, a beige fox with pointed ears and a very big poofy tail. He's currently in the middle.
Oh my god!
Currently in the middle of running some numbers, and he looks up at you, Miffy. Do you want to? So you have your known by all company version, which means that you can choose to make this person someone you're familiar with. If you open up that move, right, by checking off a box.
Yeah.
If you would like to, now is the time. You already know a little bit about what this person was doing in their mode, and now you know a little bit more about who they are. So if you would like to check off this box, you can do so now.
Yes, let's check it off.
Which one would you like? You get to degrees of closeness. You get to decide how close you were to this person.
Okay.
Basically from an acquaintance to you were once, loyal friends, or, one was a subordinate of the other, or one was a mentor, etc. Like what was a real backstab. You can only choose each box once during the campaign.
Ooh.
Once you have checked off all 3 boxes, you will have earned the personal attention of the one who did betray you most of all.
Oh.
I was joking about the Kill Bill thing, but it's actually incredibly.
Not anymore.
I'm torn between the worked with them for years or loyal friend or mentor.
Flip a coin.
Yeah. Okay. So the lower, I'm gonna roll 1d2, and if it's 1, it's the lesser one.
Okay.
And if it's 2, it's the higher one.
All right, let's see. All right.
Okay. How do I check off the box? It's not clickable. I have to go into it.
Yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I'll handle that some other time. Right, we'll deal with that after. Yes. So you see the look of surprise in his face. Wow. It isn't Miffy Mouse. I didn't expect to see you again.
That's so funny, actually. Sorry. I'm saying it so seriously.
Your name?
Yeah, my name.
You weren't someone I expected to run into ever again. He reaches for a shelf near the desk, grabs a bottle and a couple of glasses, and sets them out. Looking past Miffy to Otis, who is clearly very angry, and to Ember. Ember, what sort of expression do you have? Like, what sort of energy do you have? Are you the one calm one amidst a sea of fury, or what?
Yeah, she's calm. The more she's thought about this, the more she doesn't like the fact that this person seems to be gunning for just sweeping in and taking over the town no matter what the outcome is, but not to the degree that these two are.
Right.
Like,
which is kind of funny. Like, for the other two, it's personal, but Ember, who's lived here, it's not as personal, actually. It's just like, you're
He
just
hasn't
there.
been here for 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
It's personal, but, like, you didn't betray me.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Can I try and stay out of line of sight?
Yeah, you stayed outside, right? So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, so you're good,
You
there.
did say 3, so I guess I assumed it was also
Oh, yeah, you're
me
right,
and not
you're
Otis.
right. Sorry.
Confusing Milo and Otis, classic blunder.
Yep, classic blunder. All right. But they take out the bottle and the glasses. Well, I don't suppose I can interest you in a drink for this surprise reunion. Starts pouring out a little bit of liquor into each one.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see your mug either. But when Otis told me that you were the one that inspired him to take matters into his own hands and yet hung him out to dry, well, it seemed all too familiar.
I sit down and I do take a glass. I don't drink it though.
You say, like you say that, you take the glass. There's a little bit of a smile from the captain. Well, inspired, I think, gives me a lot more credit. This young firebrand was already frustrated with his lot here in town. All I did was provide a little bit of an investment. You know.
He's not the only one you invested in, though, was he? Hey,
I'd
were
be
those coins as fat as you wanted them to be? Huh? It kind of fizzled out there, huh? Didn't it? Wasn't as big on either side, neither the Marquis or our friend Otis here.
I suppose I have you to thank for that.
No, I think Otis has me to thank for that. You, though, you have nothing to say thanks to me for, and I smashed the glass.
Whoa.
You smash the glass on the ground.
No, I want to spill it. I want to spill the drink on like whatever table. I want to make his coins
smash
sticky.
it onto his desk.
Yeah.
Ew, they're gonna oxidize.
You smash the glass, and there's like a blink from the captain, who then takes a sip of his own. You always did.
The poison he put in it.
You never know.
You always did have quite the fury. Seem to be better. You used to be better at directing it in a productive manner, though.
Oh yeah, and what makes you think this isn't productive?
Miffy, what are you going to do here? You going to drive one of those glass shards through me and get chased out of another town?
Can I get more information on the history of this guy? Like, how long has he just like always lived here? Is he well known among the populace?
Probably not well known among the populace. From what you remember, this person. Yeah, from what you remember of Captain Karzak here is that he is generally he's not very ostentatious, right? Compared to a lot of company merchants. He doesn't throw around his wealth very often, but he does treat anyone he's doing business with rather well, both like whether that's his employee or someone like he's like had a partnership with. So like he gave Otis all of this high quality stuff. You can guarantee he's been sharing drinks with the lieutenant colonel, right? And like, you know, having fancy meals. But he's not going around making himself known to the entire town, but he certainly has made himself known to all of the people who are important and have treated them well, right? And will expect to be treated well in return, right?
Run out of town? Oh, you think I haven't been run out of town before?
Oh, I know you have. I just know you're running out of towns to be run out of.
What makes you think you're that special for me to be run out of? And what makes you think that anyone's gonna know it was me?
Make a persuasion roll just to see if you can make him afraid, right?
Persuasion?
Yeah, like a persuaded NPC, I think.
Not intimidate?
Is that a separate roll?
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's the same.
Oh, is it? I thought there was a... Sorry, never mind.
Unless you have a special one that lets you use might. That sounds like something that's probably on one of the playbooks, is use might instead of charm to...
Let me just look at my sheet real quick. Make a pointed threat? No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Let's make a pointed threat.
This one. When you make a pointed threat to an NPC by wielding your reputation. I mean, I'm kind of rolling my own, like, my notoriety with the company, right?
But I...
Requires a -3 or lower reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Oh, I don't have a negative... Ugh, okay.
Yeah, it's -3 or lower, right? Because...
That's really high.
That's really low. Yeah, you have to be
really low. You know, it's a lot.
It's a big deal, but that's what it says on there.
Yeah, that's what it says on there.
That's like I can't use it until forever.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that also kind of makes sense, though. You have to be well known before you can actually use your reputation, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
True.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely thought I had one that had might on it, but if I don't, I guess I'll just do the persuade. Okay, yeah, I'll just do that.
Alright, a 9, a weak hit. So I think, Miffy, I think the fact he's sort of like, he feels like the guards who just left aren't that far, right? And if he were to give a shout, they'd be back here in a second, right? And he might be right on that, too. And that's where his confidence comes from. So if you really want him to be afraid, you need to do something that would stop him from calling for help. But know that as soon as you make that sort of move, there's a good chance he'll try to call for help, right? Like right now, he's being very cordial because he feels like if there's danger, he can still call for aid. And perhaps because of the misguided notion that he thinks that you don't want to be caught, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's up to you if Miffy cares about being caught or not, but, you might get Ember in trouble in her own hometown. Would kind of be sad.
Well, she did literally nothing.
My mom's gonna find out.
I've been very careful about it.
She's done nothing.
I don't know if the cops will. I don't know if the cops will agree if she's just like standing with you while you commit a murder. But
I bet her tears will say something else.
That's true. Great point. Anyway, this is where his confidence comes from. So.
Gotcha. So, what? Do you think Otis is the only one who now knows you've been playing both sides? How do you think the Marquise will feel once they figure out that you've also been playing them, huh? Because I heard a little something
while we were up there, right? Saying that if you were wrong, they would pay you dearly. And I don't think it's the pay that you like.
Miffy, this is no offense, but this is why you were someone who was the blade rather than the planner.
Oh, I see you using your smirk emote.
Like, Miffy, listen, the Marquis wants an excuse to have more control here. If I provided them with an easy-to-handle group of youths, too incompetent to pull off anything that would properly danger the Marquise's interests, but would still be scary enough to, serve as an argument for the people of the town, well, that would be a boon to the lieutenant colonel, wouldn't it?
How does Otis feel about being called incompetent group of youths?
I think... Hold on. Let me see. Let me roll a self-control for Otis. I feel like Otis needs to roll... Let's see. What? Here's the question. Is rolling high lose self-control or keep self-control?
Which one takes effort?
Yeah, probably takes effort to keep self-control in the moment. So we'll give him just a straight up 2d6.
All right.
We'll see where it goes. A 7. Not so great, but it isn't quite a full miss. So what happens here is Otis does the class, like this happens, there's this quick exchange, and Otis just lunges for him, right? Like over the desk, just like to grab him.
Get him! Get him! No, I don't say that.
And so when Otis lunges for him, this does make the captain sort of lean back to try to get away from it. And he reaches reflexively for the same cabinet where he got the beverage from. As he does, Miffy, you see it right as he hooks his fingers around it, that there's a string in there.
Oh boy, yeah, the danger.
And he, Otis doesn't quite grab him on a 7, right? Being in that middle, there's just enough hesitation that the captain's able to get back, and you just see him gently, very quickly give that string a tug. And with all the noise happening, the scuffling on the inside, you don't really hear it, but Milo on the outside, a bell rings a few times outside the building. You can see up the street the heads of a pair of Marquise guard turn, and they start walking this way.
How is the bell ringing?
String attached to it, yeah.
So it's like ding.
Yeah, it only rang the once.
Can you imitate the bell?
Is it within my reach on the street, or is it outside of?
It's up high, but you could potentially either climb up real quick or, it's not out of reach, but it's not easy to get to.
Okay. Can I? Do I think they would know the bell anywhere, or do you think they would mistake it for the cymbals on a tambourine?
It seems like they know what it's for, so they probably wouldn't mistake it unless you're really good at what you do, and by golly, you've been really good at what you do all day, so there's a chance. I'm just saying it's probably more of a strong hit chance than a weak hit. A weak hit's probably a temporary delay, versus probably trick would be the right roll, right? Unless you have something that's more suited, that's from your playbook.
Silver tongue. You know what? I'm gonna try and distract these guys. I'm rolling all eyes on me, so exhaustion, and then.
Okay, all eyes on me makes sense too, since it's outlandish performance. Oh no.
It was bound to happen.
It was bound to-
I mean, one of you could help to at least get me.
I don't know if they can help
Is it
from
possible?
inside the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from inside the
I was
building,
gonna ask.
they're not gonna.
I don't.
It's. We'll take the failure in stride. It's no worry.
Yeah,
we can do this.
I was gonna be like, maybe if one of them grabs the bell from inside and then rings it while I'm doing it to maybe like accompany me. But okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they know you're doing a performance until it's too late, sadly. So, the guards
I
come
got an
over.
idea.
The
I got an
guards
idea.
come. All right,
All right.
we'll get to your idea in a moment. The guards are approaching, and they hear your performance, and I think they give you a quizzical look about the timing and location of your performance. But before we get to what they do, right? But they've now closed the distance. Miffy, what's your idea?
Hear Milo's bad performance, right?
Yeah, certainly you can hear it.
Like I try and do another ring back with my tambourine and then try and go from there.
Mhm.
So I think you're probably hearing that.
All right. I'm going to. Okay, here's my idea.
All right. All right.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to frame this guy. He's going to. He just attacked Otis, and Otis gets injured somehow, slashes him.
What?
What I'm gonna have? I want to put my knife into what is the fox's name again?
Into the captain.
Captain. Into the captain.
Captain
It's
Stephen
like
Karzak.
Captain Karzak, right? The captain. He just lunged at Otis because Otis found out he was the one starting the fires. He had all the equipment. He has it in his building. And and when he confronted him, the captain started to attack Otis, and in the scuffle, the captain died.
Damn.
Oh.
Ooh.
Jeez.
All right, that's your plan. But can you execute on it? I guess is the question.
Oh yeah, I'll execute.
Oh no.
All right, Miffy.
Tell me what to cry about.
Yeah, you can roll with whatever plan you want. So what's your action that you're like? What are Miffy and Ember doing in this moment? You hear Hambone's attempt, or not Hambone, Milo's attempt at a performance outside, which indicates
Milo's
something.
hamboning now in just distress.
Yeah, Milo's hamboning in distress, and so you can tell there's something happening outside, some danger approaching. What are you two up to, specifically?
Captain Karzak, he's just a boy! Stop that! Stop trying to stab him!
All right. So you're trying to put on that performance. Ember, are you joining in? Do you have something else you want to do?
I want to join in the acting.
She's very good at screaming. Yeah, so Ember is going to add to the chaos and start screaming.
Okay. All right.
I think this is kind of like the ending of Scream.
Something bad might happen!
Oh my
Alright.
god! They're doing it.
Stab.
Oh, they're coming out with a chainsaw.
All right. So I think what's going to happen is so you, Miffy, you added a stab there at the end. Are you also stabbing the captain as you're doing this?
Yeah.
The most unenthused. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Miffy, roll your murder roll.
What do I roll?
I think it's probably
Grapple, engagement.
Target someone?
vicious strike might be good.
Oh, okay.
'Cause-
Let me see.
So
Yeah.
it's where they are weak at intimate or close range, right? I would say that in this case, what will qualify the captain as being weak is the fact that Otis is also like grasping at him and grabbing him. So right, like, and the captain, this captain, he's a number cruncher, a merchant, not a fighter, right? Like you're not going in for a duel. You're going in to stab a man who doesn't know how to fight repeatedly between the lungs, right? So like,
Ugh.
So I think that's why Vicious Strike would apply in this case instead of just engage
Okay.
in melee. All right.
Can I use exhaustion or something?
Not unless you have something that lets you. So
Okay.
check your weapon that you're using right now. So let's take a look, since we don't often use.
Right,
You have your
let's
Canary
see.
Cutlass. So that
It lets
has,
me use Vicious Strike. It's in. I don't know if it tells
So,
me anything really.
the fact that it has that means that you need to have that tag in order to use Vicious Strike, right? So
Okay.
that's what
Yeah,
allows
yeah.
you. It has Sharp, so you can mark where on the weapon to deal extra harm. Let's see, it has Foxfolk Steel.
What does
Which-
that mean?
Let's see.
Ignore the first where you mark
Yeah,
on
so
this
basically
item.
you can do the extra harm for free this session. Let's see, and I think that's what those tags that are relevant here would do, right?
Okay,
So
is there a
let's-
way I can mark that I've already done that? Oh, I do. I see the where. I see the where, but I do it for free, so.
So that means you
Okay.
don't mark it at all, and we just remember
Right,
that.
but how will I remember?
That's because the session's over in 15 minutes. That's how you'll remember. You just
Okay,
have to
alright,
not do it again between now and then.
Okay, all right.
All right, but with an 8, you get. I think with a weak hit, they suffer serious harm, and you deal extra harm with your cutlass. So he's like really on death's door, but he gets out a pained cry, right? Before he goes down, and I think the one thing I want you both to do, want you to do, Miffy, is I want you to roll one more thing. At least I think I want to see if he's able to strike back at you as well.
Okay, yeah. I'll take the hit.
Damn.
Yeah, just roll your choice of. Actually, I think might is just the right thing. You're in there close. You're stabbing.
Stop hurting me!
Just roll
God,
might.
I'm a maniac.
On a weak hit, you'll take exhaustion. Or, sorry, on a weak hit, you'll take exhaustion. On a miss, you'll take harm.
Okay. Sorry, might, right?
Yeah, roll might.
Just straight up might.
Straight up might. All right, weak hit. Mark a level of exhaustion as he like grabs a bottle and swings, flailing it, screaming. As the guards start to rush in, hearing what's happening on the inside and seeing Milo, seeing your performance, your uncannily timely performance, one of the guards rushes in while the other begins to try to arrest Milo because you're too suspicious with all this screaming going on. Clearly, you're involved somehow. Milo, do you try to resist or run? Like, they start, like, reaching out to grab you and, like, bind your limbs.
I let them do it.
All right. Milo allows the arrest.
Picking one for the team. Respect.
Actually, you know what?
What do you do?
I have a fire starter bow on me, so I don't really want them to know I have that. So instead, I am going to one of my roguish feats: pickpocket, counterfeit.
Nothing applicable in this situation.
I'm gonna trust fate and try and run.
All right, trust and fate. Do some acrobatic-y escape or sleight of hand to like let it go on you, and then when they turn around, like, you know, pull away, right, and be free. Yeah.
Either one would do that.
Yeah, whichever one you prefer. I'm just
Adoring
looking at the
Angels
list.
Trade. Silver Tongue. No. Okay. Either one's bad for me. Persuade an NPC? No. Alright, pickpocket. Can I reverse pickpocket something?
Ooh.
Oh, like try to
Try
hide
like-
something.
Like, if there's like a mailbox or a barrel nearby, can I try and slip it before they see me?
Okay, sure. Like, sort of make a show of like putting your instruments away as they're like arresting you, and like
I yield as I'm
Right.
like putting up my hands, my little vestigial hands, put away the bow, and like a
Throw it into a nearby chimney or something, just like... Yes, I think that's a very reasonable one to go for, right? Still lets you appear to be giving up. Yeah, so...
Alright, damn.
Right. Although that's with finesse, right? You don't have... Oh, you do have pickpocket. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so perfect. You achieve your goal. The bow flings from your possession out somewhere out of reach. As you allow yourself to be arrested.
Okay, yeah.
On the inside, Ember, what were you doing during the immense stab? Just screaming and like clutching the door frame?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guard's you are probably the first person the guard sees, right?
Can I also stab Otis? Can I just be like, oh no, it looks like he got you, and then stab him, and I like hang in there, buddy. I was just like, shut up. Go through the pain. It's fine. You're fine. You got hurt by this terrible man. Don't forget that.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, you could maybe stab yourself.
He won't know how to do that. He's too young.
Milo was saying Miffy could stab Miffy, but that's fine.
No. I mean, I'm already hurt.
Yeah,
but Otis needs to be hurt.
You stab
also.
Otis. You stab Otis.
Okay.
Otis,
Okay,
cry of pain.
Shut up.
If you want to get the Marquise out, we got to do this.
All right. Ember.
They see Amber screaming.
Right, they see Ember screaming. Ember, you're given the opportunity to influence them as they walk into the room. How do you, what are you saying? What are you, what are you trying to set the expectations or, the mindset of this guard as they rush into the room?
Oh my god! Does the captain have a name? Do we know that?
Yeah,
No?
It's Karzak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Captain Stephen Karzak.
One moment. Trying to think of the right way to scream this.
Yeah, sounds good.
You say this
Take a
to
moment.
the officers.
RPGs happen in bullet time, so you got a second.
Karzak, what? Otis, are you okay?
Oh, your mic ate those last couple words, but...
God dang it. Otis, are you okay?
Yeah, Karzak. Yeah, I can't believe it. Otis, are you okay?
All right. So then, so you're setting the guards' expectations, right? Can I get a persuade roll from you, right? Even though it's not really promises or threats, right? It's again more of a right. Unless you have one of your special ones
trick?
might be better. Yeah, one of your
Is your trick better?
Trick might be better, or you might have a special one. I don't know. Actually, Desperate Smile's not quite. So I guess either trick or persuade or
charm offensive. When you play upon an enemy's insecurities, concerns, or fears to distract them with words during a fight.
I guess this is almost like a fight, so I could almost see that. Oh no, but you're not planning on attacking them.
No.
Yeah, I would say probably cunning here is the most appropriate stat. So trick makes sense.
Okay. Then I will roll that. What is it? Cunning again? Cunning.
Yeah.
Let's go! Oh!
Oh no.
Oh no.
That 14
Can I
from
do
earlier
anything
just...
about that?
Not unless you have something that does something. Which I don't know that you do.
What does...
All right, the performance seems... You can see a wariness in his eyes as he approached, that there's something slightly stilted that he's picking up in the performance. Either that or... God, was this guard up top earlier today? It's been a few hours. Did he see you there? Is that too coincidental? You can't tell in his face, but there's something about it, either your performance or some other context, that doesn't quite convince him and in fact provokes skepticism in him.
It's fine, honestly, though, because we want the Marquis out, too. We'll be fine.
And they're going to Marquise going to come around the corner, see what has happened, draw his baton, and basically be like, "Nobody move!" Right? Put down your weapon, like the classic "put down your weapons." Miffy, do you put down your weapon?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
The self-defense weapon, yeah.
Yeah, my
Now
self-defense
that- now-
weapon.
Now that the attacker is down, they don't have to worry about it.
Miffy, what self-defense weapon do you have? Just so I, for my own.
I just have my.
Oh,
I
it's a
have my canary cutlass.
Okay, so you do not have a wicked weapon.
I do not.
All right, that works in your favor here in this moment. As you put down the sword. The guard is looking between the three of you, looking to the corpse of the captain slumped against the alcohol rack against the back of the room, and he says, he doesn't look like he knows who to quite train his weapon on. Oh, actually, no, he does. It's Miffy. It's always Miffy, right? Miffy is obviously the biggest threat in the room.
I'm not a threat. I put down my weapon.
You put down the weapon, but you're still scary.
That's just because I'm covered in blood.
Yes, that's very
It's not
scary.
What? Just because I'm covered in blood, I look scary?
Yeah, just because you're covered in blood, actually, that does that. All right, none of you move. What happened here?
Oh, we were suspicious that the captain here was behind all these fires that were starting, and when we confronted him, well, he started attacking Otis here. Speaking of which, he's injured. Can we please get somewhere to get medical attention?
All right,
He
Miffy.
starts opening the bottles and pouring booze on Otis. This'll sanitize the wound, right?
All right, Miffy. I'm gonna
Glug,
want.
glug, glug.
I'm gonna want you to roll a trick as well. Ember, you cannot assist with this one because of your prior failure.
Damn it.
So this is just going to be. Does this pitch pass muster for this guy, at least initially, right?
I have a -1 cunning. Yay.
You
Yeah.
got this.
No situational bonus?
No, I was actually debating giving you a situational penalty, but I decided Ember not helping, being able to help was penalty enough.
It's
okay,
fine.
a
That's
weak
okay.
hit.
That's not bad.
A weak hit. So here's what happens.
It's not a
You
failure.
You explain, and they hesitate, and they hesitate, right? They I guess it's a hesitate or slash an opportunity, right? So it's you can see in their eyes, this guard does not fully buy what you're saying, but buys it enough that you have a few moments. You can see his eyes looking over the scene, seeing that there's only one knife here, right? But his brain hasn't quite caught up with those facts yet, right? So you have an opportunity to move, but Miffy, you can already see he's not going to come to the conclusion that you want him to. He is not going to believe this story.
I mean, the opportunity I would like to take here is that we are in fact injured, and we need to, even if he doesn't believe me, he needs to help us.
Oh, okay. I like that. I think that's a very reasonable opportunity to have. So looking at the injuries that you each, especially Otis, that's a nasty injury on Otis, has, I think there's going to be a beat where he looks over everything, looks at the three of you, but honestly more towards Miffy and Otis, who are close to the dead body, right? Ember, you do have a little bit of less I want to use the word suspicion, less hostility pointed towards you because you're further from the corpse. But before saying, all right, this is how this is going to go. You're all going to come outside with myself and my partner. We are going to call for a cart and bring you to camp for medical aid, where you are going to go over in detail what happened here. Am I understood?
Absolutely, officer. But could you at least let Onadir, the person we're staying with, know that we've been injured and are moved to whatever location you move us to?
Yes, that can be done. Now, the three of you, with me. He still has his weapon out. Probably gestures for Miffy to leave the knife where it was dropped. Or leave the cutlass.
Isn't it a sword?
Yeah, it's a cutlass.
You stabbed both
Oh
of them
my
with a
god.
sword?
Wow.
See, the thing is, this is a canary cutlass. And you know who I'm gonna blame him working with? The Eyrie.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was his sword.
Ember goes to help Otis.
All right.
Okay, so
Ember-
I want Onadir. I want. Well, actually, the shadow guys are the paws. What are they called again?
The Ashen Claws.
Yeah, the Ashen Claws. They were sort of on standby. So I would it be reasonable to say that they are sort of aware that we're being taken away?
Yes, I think so.
I was like, and then I want to loudly say like, let Onadir know that we were attacked.
Right.
We were attacked. You know, stuff like that. And we're injured, you know, let them know, to sort of get them updated on this situation.
Right. So it's less that you're trying to get the guards to tell Onadir, more that you're saying this out loud as a way to update the Ashen Claws of what's going on.
Yeah, but he can tell her too. That's fine. Like,
Yeah, not that she's gonna
This
really
is
do
called-
much, but
I think that's called establishing an alibi.
Yeah.
all right. And speaking of, I think we're at time for our session. So it sounds like next time we have a. Are we gonna have a court case episode? Are we gonna have a?
Oh my god.
Is it gonna be Ace
Dun,
Attorney?
dun.
As you try to prove.
Da, 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 da,
I don't know if that's what
da.
we're going to do. We'll have to figure out if that's what we're going to do or not. But at the very least, you discovered the true fulcrum behind the tensions in town here. The one fanning the
true.
flames of both sides, and have eliminated that. The only problem here is a man was still murdered. And,
Fine.
you know, the Marquis currently has a monopoly on murder here, and they may not take kindly to you encroaching on their business. So, you know. We'll have to figure out what this means.
It's alright, we'll get rid of them too.
With what weapons? Milo just
No,
threw a bow.
with
and you left-
revolution! With revolution!
Oh, right. We're not giving up on the revolution part yet. Right.
I mean,
Viva
I'm
la
ready.
revolution!
I'm ready to skip town, honestly.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out exactly what's feasible next time.
I was gonna leave earlier, but I forgot my hobo bindle at Onadir's.
Well, thanks for playing, everyone. I hope we all had a fun time.
Man,
And
we
we have
did
a-
really well before we didn't set the thing on fire.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny when someone, I forget if it was Hambone or Nova, was saying like to Ember, how much did you trust your mom? That was
Yeah, that
so
was me.
funny. That was so funny to me.
Good news, I didn't trust her at all.
Good. I told her
Which
shit.
made it all the more confusing.
Didn't tell her shit when I was 5. I didn't tell her shit now.
Right.
Perfect record. If she can't find it out, if she finds out I just didn't do a good enough job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would have been really funny, but sadly not the case this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also very contingent on Ember actually telling her the plan, which question mark. So, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Surprised the mayor's still alive.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
props to the mayor. At least the mayor knows when to stand outside the danger area. So, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah. But
well,
alright.
I guess we're always in the danger area with us.
That's true. Yeah. When you're a band of vagabonds, you really are always in danger.
When you're in the myth zone. Let your guard down.
Yeah, I'll stab my allies for an alibi.
All right, that's
It
good
will,
to know.
for an alibi that may not be even that effective, but we'll see.
I've got the perfect alibi.
Oh, I should have cut his ear off instead. Would have believed me more.
I did do that to another NPC.
In my other campaign, very recently, actually.
You've played a Smithy before.
No, well, I played Bunny, who is also sort of a maniac, and I cut off NPC's ear to give us an alibi.
Well, it was more that that NPC was wanted, and you were doing a favor for the morally questionable company by taking them out, and so you cut off the ear as proof that you killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, person's still alive, by the way. Well, for certain definitions of alive, but that's not the party's fault. That's
too much information.
Too much information. Too much information. Anyway, we've been on the closing screen. Wait, before we go, anyone have anything coming up that you want to mention?
Might do a stream tomorrow. My streams are always if I feel up for it. But next couple of weeks, I'm actually having my birthday stream.
Oh.
A lot of people are invited, including all of you, in the call at least. We're gonna have a draw pile, and we're gonna be drawing about mostly Digimon, or just 12 issues or whatever. Just having a good Digi time.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
When is that?
It will be the week of the 3rd of February.
Nice.
3rd of February.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
More information forthcoming. You can check it out on Blue Sky or my Tumblr.
Heck yeah.
Very exciting.
I plan on doing a stream sometime this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, and I have an announcement to make. And you'll find out if you come.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. The call to action.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Keep an eye on Amasha26.
Yeah, everybody is linked in the title, so go follow them if you haven't already. Thank you.
And Nova, do you have anything coming up?
Tomorrow we're going to be playing Final Fantasy, more Hildebrand Crest, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But all right. That's it for us here at the Liminal Branch Library. I hope you've enjoyed your time here and hope to see you again soon. Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye and good luck. Good night and good bone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.